and when the script says do this, this, and this, in this order, and then you have to change some things, because this guy is so damn popular. He's needed everywhere, but he wanted to be here with us. And he wanted to make sure that our 150 aspiring educators who are out there, make sure that you, when you get your first teaching job, you're ready to go and you have the things that you need to be a successful educator. And for the 125 educators in the room, both teacher ESP, when he's governor, he's going to make sure, because guess what, he wrote a budget, he's handing it to himself. And he's going to make sure that you have the resources and the things that you need so that every single one of our kids, no matter where they live in Wisconsin, no matter where they live in Wisconsin, will get a great public education. So, I know there's a whole script and a whole lot of things to say here, and I'm going to bypass that a second here, and I'm not the best at ad-libbing, so I'm gonna do this and just, I can tell you guys, this guy is phenomenal.
Yep.
Phenomenal. He listens. The other day, one of the newspapers called me and interviewed me and said, you probably know him pretty well. WEAC probably, tries to meet with Dr. Evers, tries to influence some of the decisions that are made for public schools. And I said, yeah, we sure do. But what I like best about Dr. Evers is that he brings together groups that don't necessarily come together on their own. Good. Like the Wisconsin Association of School Boards, the Wisconsin Association of School District Administrators, and WEAC, educators, to a table to talk about what are we going to do about this teacher shortage? What are we going to do about teacher morale, educator morale, ESPs, teachers, support staff? What are we going to do about that? He brings us together to talk about how do we close the achievement gap between our students of color and our white students. How do we close that gap? How do we make sure that every kid in this state gets a great public education? So I know firsthand, he's the right person for us at this time to be governor of Wisconsin. And so we're going to do everything we can, folks. Everything we can for these next 10 days. 10 days. 10 days. 10 days. Are you with me yet? Are you with me yet? All right. I'd like to say before I just let Dr. Evers tell you all about what we can do and who he is. So Dr. Evers, it's all for you. Here we go.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Tony Evers, and I'm going to be the next governor of the state of Wisconsin. Now, there's a whole bunch of you that don't know me out there, especially the students in the audience. So I'm just going to give you a quick rundown of my life in probably 2 minutes. So hang on. First of all, I was born and raised in Plymouth, Wisconsin. Anybody here from Plymouth? Oh, come on. There's got to be somebody.
Anybody close?
Okay, that's good. Very close. Anyway, it's born and raised in Plymouth, Wisconsin, which is the cheese capital of the world, and we know that because we have a big sign downtown that says cheese capital of the world. And if that doesn't convince you of that, we have a big plastic cow downtown that's on a throne. So those two things together will tell you I'm from the cheese capital of the world. Now, you have to think about this next statement. I actually met my wife in kindergarten. So think about back when you were in kindergarten, right? There may be somebody there that's waiting for you as a spouse. And every time I say that, I said, oh my God, no. Anyway, I met my wife in kindergarten. Our first date was junior prom, and we had 3 children, 7 grandchildren. And Kathy and I have had the honor of living all across the state of Wisconsin, mostly central Wisconsin. I started my career in Baraboo teaching science. I was also a teacher in Toma and high school principal in Toma. Went to Oakfield, which is just outside of Oshkosh, and was Fond du Lac and was superintendent of the schools there. I spent time in Monroe, in Oshkosh, in Verona, and I've been deputy state superintendent. And you folks out there that are voting age helped me become state superintendent 3 times in the state of Wisconsin. With 70% of the vote and won 70 of 72 counties in the state of Wisconsin. Yeah. This race has a it's healthcare, it's making sure that we have good transportation system in the state of Wisconsin. But for all of you here, the most important thing for me is this. I know that what's best for our kids is best for our state, is best for our state's democracy and state's economy. Our future is what all of you are here for. And that's why I'm so glad to see so many students and people coming from each of the campuses, coming together, learning about what's going to be in front of you going forward as a teacher in the state. And I'll tell you, I was with two events yesterday. One was I had an opportunity to spend about 2 hours with President Obama, and it was great. And there were a lot of young people in that audience too. And it was extraordinary to me and a good feeling that so many of them also want to become teachers. And then after that, I actually had a debate with another guy, Scott Walker, last night on TV in Milwaukee. And again, there were a number of young people from UWM, from some of the private universities in the Milwaukee area, all wanting to become teachers. And I can't tell you how important that is to me personally, and it's important to all the other teachers and paraprofessionals that are out there in the audience. We need to have the best and brightest in front of our kids every single day. I know we do now, but we have to double down. We have to make sure that our state supports public education, and I'm going to do that as governor.
Yeah.
Spiral downhill a little bit before I come back up. My opponent, Scott Walker, he has done two things that he calls reform. Now, if you think about the definition of reform, tell me if you think this is what reform is. Taking $820 million out of a public school system? I would say no. Making educators the enemy?
No.
No. Both of those things are what Scott Walker's definition of reform is. He said it last night, I've heard him say it before. The good news is this. I'm going to spend every moment as governor of the state of Wisconsin to reverse those issues.
Yeah.
My most recent budget, as state superintendent, I prepare the budget for K-12 education. And I am proposing a $1.4 billion increase in public school funding. And as part of that, we're going to make sure that students with disabilities, we have a legal and moral obligation around those students. We're going to increase that funding by $600 million. Hasn't been raised in 10 years. We're also going to have money in there, $64 million additional dollars for mental health issues. As you know, young people in the state, they do struggle with mental health issues like never before.
Our children.
We need to make sure that happens. And I have to give a quick shout out to Ashland School District. Anybody from Ashland here? Going once, going twice. Anyway, Ashland School District just had a referendum where they reconfigured some of their schools. A lot of issues around infrastructure. What they did though, in every single school that they have in Ashland, they put in a clinic, room for clinics, for therapists to come in and work with students so that students can get that therapy that they need around the mental health issues right in school. It erases that stigma and makes sure that people get to their appointments. And I heard stories from parents and teachers up in Ashland, the lives that have been saved is just extraordinary. We cannot separate the mental health of our students and their academic success. They're one and the same. We have to understand that. This administration, my administration, is going to do that going forward.
Yes.
In addition, for the first time ever, we're going to have funding for after-school programming. Again, that's something that's really critical to all of us. And the good news is, and Doug kind of alluded to it, is this. Every 2 years I do this. I prepare a budget, I hand it off to Scott Walker, and he pretty much throws it in the wastebasket. This time, I get that budget, I hand it off to myself. Scott Walker will not be governor. We're going to hand it off to the legislature. We're going to have a lot more Democrats there. We're actually going to pass this budget and reclaim public education in the state of Wisconsin. I'll tell you just two more things that are important to me. One is, it's something that I have been very pleased and proud to participate in as state superintendent. Every year we nominate and celebrate 4 Teachers of the Year. And these 4 Teachers of the Year are extremely talented people, but they're representative of all the teachers we have in Wisconsin. Every year I add those people to a Teacher of the Year council, and I meet with them regularly. And I can't tell you how important that has been to me as state superintendent and the staff at the Department of Public Instruction. That input is exceedingly important. As governor, we're going to continue that effort. Those teachers, I'm going to continue, certainly the next state superintendent will be meeting with those folks, but I will be meeting with them also. I cannot give that up. It's been an important part of my life, and I'm not going to give it up as governor. The last thing I want to talk about is the issue of teacher voice. I think if I do anything, in addition to providing more resources for our schools, we must make sure that we return teacher voice to the forefront of decisions that are going on in the state of Wisconsin. And however we do that, we're going to accomplish that, because I feel that is the missing thing. If anything, we will look around the state, try to find those school districts that do a good job of that actively involve teachers in decision making, actively involve them in policy making at the district level. That is absolutely critical, not just for the profession of teaching, and of course paraprofessionals I put in that same picture, but it's most important for the kids that we serve. This isn't a self-serving thing. It's making sure that we have the opportunity for the people that are doing the work, those people right now that are having trouble with voice. We're going to make sure that happens going forward. So I am so honored to be here today, and especially with those of you who are entering the teaching profession. You are not making a mistake. You're doing the right thing. And the people of Wisconsin are counting on it. They really are. I know there's, when I go to the campuses and talk to young people about becoming teachers, there's always some reticence because of all the rancor in the past, people fighting with each other, lots of controversy. Those days are over. Those days are over. You will have a governor in the state of Wisconsin that values the profession, that values young teachers coming into the profession, because the future of this state is based upon how well we do with our kids. Thank you so much for being here. Have a great time.
Okay, I was a volleyball coach for 15 years. Head volleyball coach in Altoona. And when we go up against some of the most powerful teams in the state, I would say to my team in a huddle, what are we going to do? We're going to win. So what are we going to do?
We're gonna win!
What are we going to do?
We're gonna win!
So how we're going to win? We're going to vote, right? So let's get out